Hi, I'm Lance Henriksen. You're watching Brian Lomax's Movie Talk.
Hello there and welcome to Brian Lomax Movie Talk and this new Blu-ray update video. Just want to share with you some of the pickups I've got recently. We have the wonders of CEX in this country, which is basically a really cheap DVD and Blu-ray shop. You can pick up things at a really great price. So I thought, I'd get a few, which I'm going to share with you right now. First up is Public Enemies. Now I do own this on DVD, but for £1.50, man, it's a really great film. I love the period of it. I think it's cracking. It's Johnny Depp doing a straight role, doing a serious role. He doesn't have makeup on. He doesn't have his face all painted up and loads of eye makeup on. So yeah, it gives a cracking performance. I really like Christian Bale in this as well. And I like Stephen Lang in it as well. Stephen Lang has a bit of a small role in it, but he does make an impression. But yeah, great performances all around. Stephen Graham as well is really good. And I do believe there's a bit of a small appearance from Channing Tatum at the beginning, if my memory serves me correctly. But yeah, I like it. It's one of my favourite Michael Mann movies. Kind of similar vein as Heat. It kind of feels like Heat, but just kind of transported back to the 1930s. So yeah, great film if you're a fan of Heat. Next up is Texas Killing Fields. Now this is by the daughter of Michael Mann. What's the chances? So basically Michael Mann did Public Enemies and her daughter did this, Texas Killing Fields. This was one of the last films that I watched before Blockbuster went under. I used to work at Blockbuster, and yeah, a part of working at Blockbuster is we got so many free rentals, and this was one of the last films that I rented. And I was surprised by just how good it was, because it looked like it was going to be one of those films that goes straight to DVD, that doesn't really get much attention, and it's just kind of average, middle of the road at best. But it's a real superior little thriller, a really good kind of cops looking for a serial killer kind of movie, but very well handled and a very promising start to Amy Kanan Mann's career. She looks like she takes after her father, which is more than could be said for the daughter of David Lynch, who hasn't done as well, I don't think. Don't know why I'm throwing that in there, but just because she's the daughter of a famous director, I went there. Can't take it back. Next up is Titanic. Now I did actually buy this new because Asda were doing a deal. They were doing was it 3 for 12 or 2 for 12? I think they were doing a deal. I got Titanic. I think this is the only James Cameron film that I didn't have. I think True Lies as well. I still need to pick up True Lies. I did once own Piranha 2, but yeah, I got rid of that. That's not a keeper. It's not a keeper. But Titanic is a really good film. It's a really good kind of chick flick. It's kind of like the king of the chick flicks, really, isn't it? Or the queen, depending on which way you look at it. Yeah, really great kind of performance from Leonardo DiCaprio in his kind of heartthrob days before he became a full-on, fully-fledged serious actor. Not that he doesn't give a serious performance in this, but I think he had a certain persona, didn't he? People only could look at him in a particular light, and he had to fight against that quite successfully, obviously, with his recent Oscar win. But yeah, really great film. It's not Cameron's best by any stretch of the imagination, but it certainly overcame the odds. There's so much rubbish talked about it before it came out, a troubled production and whatnot. So when it came out and became the highest earner at the box office ever, yeah, definitely a success story, but a really good film, so deserving of it, I think. Next up is Jurassic World. This is the other one I got in the deal with Titanic, and it's grown on me a bit, this film. I wasn't particularly enamoured with it when it first came out, just because it retread so much old ground. It felt more like a remake than a actual next step in the series. But after watching it a few times here and there, like my dad tends to watch it a lot when I go around to his, and I've seen it a couple of times, and it's grown on me a lot more. I like the relationship between Chris Pratt's character and what's her face? I can never remember her name. The redhead, Bryce Dallas Howard. I really like her as an actress as well. I should remember her name. I thought she was fantastic in The Help, and I really loved her inside The Village, which is a very underrated film, I think. But yeah, I like their chemistry in this. I like their relationship, and the special effects are really good, and there's some really great action sequences in it. It's not quite as good as Spielberg's original, but then there aren't many blockbusters that kind of get to that level, are there? So you can't really measure it in those terms. It's certainly a heck of a lot better than Jurassic Park 3, and I would say better than Jurassic Park 2 as well. So in that regard, they did beat Spielberg. Colin Trevorrow who directed it. But yeah, it's a good film. Here's one I've not seen, and this is The Secret in Their Eyes, which I believe is a remake. And I got this because it was cheap. I found it quite cheap in HMV of all places. But it's written and directed by Billy Ray. Obviously not the original. It's based off the original, so he didn't write the original. But he wrote this one. He did the screenplay for this one, and he directed it. I really like Billy Ray. Everything that I've seen of his that he's done, I've really liked. Now, he did a film called Shattered Glass, which is a very good film. And he did one called Breach, again, a really good political thriller. And if I'm not mistaken, I think he wrote the script or adapted the script for State of Play. Don't quote me on that, but I think he did. But that was a really great film as well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. It's not had the best reviews, so I'm expecting not as much as I've seen from his previous work, but that could be a good thing, you know, going into it and not expecting too much from it. I might be pleasantly surprised. So I'm looking forward to it. I like the actors in it, especially Chiwetel Ejiofor, Julia Roberts. Julia Roberts is one of them actresses that I when somebody asks me if you like her as an actress, I'd say not really. But then I find myself watching some of her performances and thinking, actually, you know what? She is better than I give her credit for. Next up is Still Alice, a film that has kind of been on the back burner for me for some time. It's not the most joyous of kind of subject matter. So it's been one of them that I kind of felt like I need to see, kind of obliged to see, but it's not been like a burning desire for me. But I got it, picked it up reasonably cheap, and thought, you know what, I'll get it. I love Julianne Moore. She won the Oscar for Best Actress for this, so it's got to be that at least. I watched it, and I'm really glad that I own it. Man alive, 5 out of 5 for this. Powerful. Really, really powerful film. Very powerful performance from Julianne Moore. And it is a depressing subject matter, but they do find moments of humour as well as moments of tragedy. But if you've not seen this film, I strongly urge you to go out and watch it. Just buy it. Buy it, because I guarantee you'll want it in your collection. If you're a collector, if you're a Blu-ray collector, this is definitely one to have. Yeah, fantastic film, brilliantly directed. And it pays a real great respect, I think, to the subject matter. It honours it, I think. It honours the people who go through dementia and the families that have to deal with the people who are going through it. The character of Alec Baldwin in the film, well, not the character of Alec Baldwin, the character played by Alec Baldwin in the film, there's a moment in the film, just towards the end, not kidding, he had me in tears. I've never really thought of Alec Baldwin as that kind of actor who can reduce me to tears, and there's something a bit funny about him. But in this, man alive, yeah, that scene that I'm talking about had me, really had me. Next up is Inside Llewyn Davis. This is the only Coen brothers film that I've yet to see. Everybody I speak to who's seen it says it's great, so on faith alone I have bought it, and we'll see how it goes. Next up is The Big Short. Now this was nominated for Best Picture last Oscars, didn't win. That honour went to Spotlight, which for my money personally, out of the 8 films that were nominated, I thought at least 5 of them were better than Spotlight. Now that isn't a diss on Spotlight. I think Spotlight is a very good film, but I just thought there were so many stronger candidates within those nominations, and this is one of them. The screenplay for this is fantastic, and it's directed by Adam McKay, who did like Anchorman and Talladega Nights. And this just comes out of nowhere. You don't expect this kind of film from him at all. Fine performances all around. I think the standout personally for me is Stephen Carell. Now, it was actually Christian Bale who got nominated. Got nothing against that because I love Christian Bale. He never delivers half-assed work. He always delivers his best. But I just feel like it was Carell that kind of nailed it in this. He's the one that I found the most emotional resonance with. I was really hooked into what he was doing in this film. So yeah, but great film with great turns from all the leads and all the supports. Next up is Frank. Now, I got this purely on the strength of, well, the reviews. I've not read any bad reviews of it, but also on the strength of Room, which is my favourite film of last year, or one of my favourite films of last year. It was in my top 3. It was fantastic, absolutely fantastic. So just on that strength alone, I've bought this. I haven't seen it, still in its wrapper. Obviously, I've only just bought it, but yeah, looking forward to that one. Next up, another film I haven't seen is 99 Homes. There's a few people on YouTube, in the YouTube community, who have mentioned this and said it's a really good film. I love both the actors, Andrew Garfield and Michael Shannon. I think they always do great work. So yeah, I bought it again on faith that it is going to be a good film. A lot of good reviews on there. So yeah, looking forward to that one. Next up is East of Eden. This is a film by Elia Kazan. Now, Elia Kazan did one of my favourite movies of all time, On the Waterfront. Best movie of the 1950s, and probably in my top 10, I think, of all time. So yeah, I've seen a couple more of his that have been really strong as well. So I haven't seen this, but that's why I bought it. I bought it on the strength that Elia Kazan directed it. He's not let me down so far, so yeah, I'm happy to give that a watch. Next up are the 2 Hunger Games films. I've watched all the Hunger Games films recently, but these 2 I only bought on Blu-ray recently because I just basically I wanted to watch all the Hunger Games over a few days. And I had these 2 on DVD, but not Blu-ray. So I bought them on Blu-ray so that I've got all 4 on Blu-ray. Really enjoyed them. Really enjoyed the whole series, to be honest. A lot more than I did when I saw them previously, when they came out at the cinema, or when they came out just came out on DVD. Because I'd seen them like a year apart from one another. And I think you forget things. So certain things just seem to come out of nowhere in the sequels because you forget that actually they built that up. So when I watched them back to back, I don't know, it made them gel a lot more. So Mockingjay Part 1 is a much stronger film than people give it credit for. I really enjoyed it. To be honest, it's a different kind of film to Catching Fire, but equally as strong, I think. Very good kind of commentary on the part that media has to play in social justice and in propaganda for both sides of whatever kind of war is being waged. So yeah, very good films all round. Catching Fire is probably still, I would say, the strongest of the 4, but only by a very slim margin. I still really love both parts of Mockingjay, which most people tell me is based on a really poor book. I never read the books. I've only got the films to go on, and I loved the films. So yeah, both of them really good, and that pretty much completes my Blu-ray update. So if you've got any of these, or have you seen any of these, then please comment below. Let me know what your favourite is. Let me know what you think is the worst of these purchases, which one you think I should bin, which one definitely needs to stay on the shelf. And until next time, thanks for watching.